Hey guys, welcome to Radiant Guardians. Welcome back. Hi, how's everybody doing? Yeah, it's been a few days, hasn't it? I just really wanted everyone to just like tune in to the first like the recent video that I just did with Nazara. So I hope you got a really lot of good information out of that, and looking forward to more info, right? Intel. Anyway, I've got an article here and I want to share that with you guys. But before I jump into that, how's everybody doing? Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all, some of you are going to the expo and going to meet up with Ismail Perez, so that will be really exciting for you guys. Yeah, man, it is so beautiful. I'm enjoying the weather in New Zealand that we're having. It's beautiful. It's just so warm and really hot at some times and things like that. But anyway, I've got an article and I'm going to share it with you guys. And you know, the other I think it was a couple of lives that Ismail did, and he was talking about underground dumps, right? Well, I've got a whole lot of info for you guys, and this goes really deep into these underground dumps and tunnels that are all over US and around the world as well. So anyway, but yeah, oh man, I know I'm going to go live soon, you guys, so watch out for that, you guys, watch out for that. I'm going to go live, and hopefully I can actually get something to sit because I'm going to do it on my phone, but I think we might go out in nature and do a live like that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. What else can I tell you? Apart from everything that's going on that that you guys already know about. Things happening with Elon Musk, things that are happening with Donald Trump, all the executive orders that he's signing and everything like that. Yeah, so much happening. Right, it's kind of not my area of disclosure. So anything to do with the 3D world, 3D matrix, at the moment is not my area of disclosure. What's my area of disclosure is deep hidden things and spiritual things, encouragement, right? And me being able to share with you guys what I receive and what I get from all the articles that I find. Not only that, because I like to go out and spend some time meditation and things like that, so it really helps, it really helps a lot. Okay, so enough chitter chatter. What else can I tell you? Oh yeah, don't forget, check out the description box down below, because there you'll find about 4 links, 2 to meditations, one with our brother Darius and one with Metatron Frequency. Also, there is 2 other links, one to our Telegram page and one to Ismail Perez's website, where you can find his courses and his products that he has on his website. Just go and explore. You'll find everything there. Okay. All right, I'm going to dive straight into this. Yeah, a lot of great information, you guys. So beneath the vast and diverse landscape of the US lies a hidden world of underground cities, bases, and tunnels. These secretive structures are allegedly built by the government and others by unknown civilization, have sparked theories of secret government projects, alien activity, and ancient societies hidden from public view. From mysterious tunnels under prominent military bases to vast caverns concealed beneath major cities, These hidden subterranean worlds have long been the subject of speculations, intrigue, and fear. This article dives into the lesser known underground systems scattered across the country, revealing legends, documents, and sightings, and whispered secrets. Believe it or not. Alright. So, these areas were found off government map showing just some of the underground bases in the US. Edward Air Force Base. From Edwards, a tunnel goes to Vandenberg Air Force Base. From Vandenberg, you back up to Edwards and go southeast to Subterranean Base at the place that a map or designates as TAT, or designates, I need glasses, designates as TAT, which probably means Catalina Island. And so, in showing a flying saucer there as well, and alien spaceships are probably seen there. The map shows underground base and a tunnel going into it as a place called 29 Plans. Alright, so there appears to be a site in Nevada at Tonopah or Area 51 at Groom Lake, and place designated at COGAFB. So in Arizona, there are sites at Wickup. In Utah, there are one at Salt Lake City. In Revelton, Denver, Colorado, Colorado Springs, COG, Credo, and Delta. In New Mexico, they are at Duke, Tulsa or Los Alamos, ALB or AFB, Datil, and Carlsbad. I hope I'm pronouncing those right, guys, but you probably know and are familiar with these places. In Texas, there is one at Lubbock, Denton, 908, and COG seems to have an isolated one. Stockton in Old Mexico. There is one at Chihuahua. Chihuahua. I didn't know that was a place. Tulsa, Oklahoma has one, and just NE or northeast of there, we appear to have one with a saucer coming out of it. Wow, you guys. Not that that should surprise me. Alright, Arizona tunnels and caves. So the Grand Canyon, get my accent right with these words. So the Grand Canyon, near the influences of Colorado and Little Colorado River, Hopi legends say that their ancestors once lived underground with friendly race of ant people, not to be confused with sinister mantis people described by several abductees. But some of their kind turned to sorcery and made an alliance with lizard or serpent men known as the Two Hearts, which dwelt in still deeper caverns below. The flood of evil and violence forced the peaceful Hopi to the surface world, An explorer named G. E. Kincaid claimed to have found one of the ancient caves in which were reportedly discovered Oriental, Egyptian, and Central America type artifacts. Smithsonian or archaeologist S.A. Jordan and Associates also explored the man-made caves or caverns with hundreds of rooms, enough to hold over 50,000 people, you guys. Oh man. And so the underground city is about 42 miles upriver from El Tova, Crystal Canyon, and Crystal Creek, and about 2,000 feet above the riverbed on the east wall. John Rhodes, after 3 years of field research, reportedly discovered the Grand Canyon City, which is now being used as a museum for enlisted groups and has lower levels that are being used by super secret black book operatives, which can only be entered via a stainless steel door at the bottom of a stairwell deep within the city that is guarded by a very lonely soldier staring into darkness, dressed in a white jumpsuit and armed only with an M16 assault rifle to ward off his imagination. Wow. Right, Sedona, famous for its massive vortex, is claimed to be an ancient colony of the Lemurians. And so according to Commander X, there are reports of a joint operational underground city and facility under the enactment or resort in Boynton Canyon, where clone-like men in black have been seen along with unusual electromagnetic vortex phenomena. Right, and now, from the source, David Icke, Children of the Matrix, notes that Sedona is associated with UFO activities, with a reptilian underground base where members of the reptilian race work with their human or part human puppets and the Illuminati and scientific and genetic agenda. The base would appear to be under Boynton or Canyon in Sedona. This is not far from the reservation of the Hopi tribe, which has Lemurian connections. Interesting. All right. Okay. Yeah, very interesting. All right. Arizona superstitious. Several people claim to have had experiences with all types of alien beings inhabiting underground levels below the Superstition Mount, east of Phoenix. Early reports speak of human and human dwarfs inhabiting the caverns of the regions, and although in the 20th century reports of reptilian and grey-type aliens have increased, some encounters involve white greys from epsilon boots and humanoid or reptoid Deros and black hooded cloaks, using abducted, programmed humans above and below as mind slaves or worse, reptilian humanoids. With integrated human dash N dash A dash. Alright, catch my drift, guys. abducting and raping women, and various other aggressive underground scenarios. Right, now, fourth, Huachuca, Arizona. I hope I pronounced that correctly, you guys. Huachuca, Arizona, had possibly still does have a large underground tunnel system that is occupied by a top secret communication and cryptography unit. NSA either commands or has preferential use of the facility, and the Arizona military site is also one of many designated detachments or detainments and concentration camps authorized by our government under the Homeland Security Act as martial law or is necessarily declared. Arkansas. Arkansas. Gushman. Caverns west and west of town are allegedly for stories of deep caverns systems. Encounters with hairy humanoids with an attitude and giant serpents and insect, deadly gas pockets, strange electromagnetic phenomena, and unexplained disappearances. One of these is Blowing Cave, which lies in the mining area NW of Gushman, northwest of Gushman, and is located 1/4 of a mile north of road leading west from Gushman, one of several caverns in the area. Some of them possibly connecting a deeper level to deeper levels. So between the large entrance and the underground lake for back in the cave is a trail that winds through an area of rubble or breakdown. So that one is, between the large entrance and the underground lake, far back in the cave is a trail that winds through an area of rubble or breakdown. And so the trail is intersected by a crack in the earth between the entrance and the lake that, if followed into the breakdown, widens enough to enter into. This chasm is reportedly an entrance to the endless networks of alien underworld. Alright, now let's go to California. The Modoc tribes tells that thousands of snows ago, there was a great storm over Mount Shasta. The Great Spirit who lived within the mountain sent his youngest daughter out to speak to the storm and tell it to stop. Tell it to stop blowing so hard, or else the mountain might blow over. He also told her not to stick her head out the top of the mountain, or the wind could catch her long red hair and blow her away. The girl, however, having never seen the sea, was overcome with curiosity and stuck her head out of the top of the mountain to see it. As her father, the Great Spirit, had warned her, long red hair caught the mighty wind, and she was blown away. Fortunately, a group of grizzly bears found her and took her in. These grizzly bears were not like modern grizzlies. However, they were more like humans walking on 2 feet. And when the Great Spirit's daughter came of age, she married the oldest grizzly's son. Their children were then a combination of spirit and animal. Having the nature of both, they were the first modocs. Alright, and there have been tales of strange-looking robbed persons emerging from the forest and coming into nearby towns surrounding Mount Shasta to trade gold nuggets for supplies. These odd-looking persons were not only particular in their dress and different in attire from any costume ever seen on American Indian, and especially in the California Indian, but distinctive in features and complexion, tall, graceful, and agile, having the appearance of being quite old and yet exceedingly virile. A protrusion in the centre of their very forehead was said to be a special organ enabling them to communicate by telepathy. When approached by townspeople, the Lemurians would apparently vanish into thin air. Okay, all right. So according to Brotherhood of the White Temple, and this is now going into, the Brotherhood of the White Temple. So according to the Brother of the White Temple, entitled Mysteries of Mount Shasta, it is Atlantean, not Lemurian, who inhabited Mount Shasta, though the Lemurians had indeed created vast underground pleasure palaces beneath the mountain. They had lost their freedom in a great war with the Atlanteans and remained imprisoned by Atlanteans in their palaces even today. After their retreat, the Atlantean visitors sealed the entrance and established a elaborate guard system which prohibited the Lemurians from ever escaping their bondage. The Atlanteans, Dr. Doyle states, still reside in their colony beneath Mount Shasta and communicate every 3 months by strange cigar-shaped airships to an area in the South Pacific in order to check the sealed entrance of the imprisoned Lemurians. It is these aircrafts, some say, that accounts for the occasional appearances of UFOs about or above Mount Shasta. A cigarette spaceship. Yeah, I think we've all heard about that one before. There's a lot of info about that. So the Paiute Indians of the southwest USA claim that the Greek or Egyptian-like race first colonized the massive caverns within the Panamint Mountains thousands of years ago. One source claims the base was established around 2500 BC, which is incidentally about 600 years following the beginnings of the rise of Egypt's intellectual culture. When Death Valley was part of an inland sea connected to the Pacific Ocean, and when the sea dried up, these people, who were described as wearing flowing robes draped over one shoulder, headbands holding back their long hair, and bronze golden skin, out of necessity began to develop their collective knowledge and intellect, and soon afterwards began to construct silver flying cannons. At first, these flying machines possessed wings, were relatively small, and flew with a dipping movement and a loud whirling noise. As time passed, the ships became windlass, or grew larger in size, and flew ever more smoothly and silently. And eventually, these people, the Musifs, moved their civilization into their deeper caverns, which have had discovered farther underground, and recommence to explore the nearby planets and eventually other star systems, as their own technological explosions began to refine every aspect of their society. These Musifs have apparently had interplanetary or interstellar travel for 3,000 to 4,000 years since they first developed their flying machines. Could they have been one of the many native terrestrials or ancient astronauts? Civilization which apparently had colonized Lyra and other systems. The story of the Panamints was related by the Navajo Indian by the name of Auger Mag, who in turn heard it from an old Paichu medicine man. Paichu, is it Paichu or Pachu? Alright, either one. 29 Palm Marine Base. Underground facilities involved with recovered alien technology and research. Also, a geological anomaly in the area created by seawater rushing into underlying caverns when the area was underwater, creating a tunnel-like structure from which UFOs have been seen to emerge. Attempt of army personnel to send cameras down and resulted in the camera cables being cut, and attempts to send military down on ropes resulted in the explorers being exposed to a noxious blue gas, which had apparently been released from below to prevent them from descending. Alright, Anathium. On the November the 3rd, back in 1989, radio talk show host Ken Hudnall announced his intentions to take a group to visit an ancient underground city 60 miles from Anaheim, something like that. Alright, and so in 1972, Wanda Lockwood of Bakersfield reported that in 1970 she was playing with her son in his bedroom when what sounded like a large street hammer struck the concrete basement floor 3 times. Her child, Danny, was so surprised that he began to cry, having heard a similar noise several months earlier beneath her living room. Wanda was curious and put her ear to the bedroom floor and clearly heard the roar of machinery. She took a hammer and began to pound the bedroom floor in a 1-2-3 manner until 5 minutes later a being beneath the floor began to tap back in the same sequence, right? 1-2-3 manner. She could hear a series of noises and knocks, and then she faintly heard men talking to each other, but the voices were too muffled to understand. In later months, she would again hear the machinery when placing her ear to the floor, but never again the men's voices. Strange phenomenons. Alright, and now Barstow, Camp Irwin. Reports of several tunnels below the Camp Irwin area, one of which is an abandoned mine, at the bottom of which an earth crack, which leads to a tunnel that connects with a massive underground river, about 1/4 of a mile wide, and one of at least 5 subterranean rivers which rise and fall with the tides, suggesting the source of origin being a large underground sea below the dry basins of Utah and Nevada. One of these reportedly runs below Corkleweef and Dora Peaks, near the SW flake of the Ivan Parr Mounts, and northwest of Needles, California. These underground rivers are said to empty into the Pacific or Gulf of California via a large aqua caves near the base of the continental slopes. Wow. So Leon Davidson, an early issue of Flying Saucers magazine, spoke of a large network of underground tunnels in the California desert at Camp Irwin, near Barstow. This may tie in with an item related by the Los Angeles water director as related in an earlier an issue of Richard Torontos. Richard Torontos. That name rings a bell. Stating that the water director knew of a large underground river which ran beneath the Mojave or desert, and that dye traces showed that at least one of these emptied into the Pacific Ocean through openings in the continental slopes. One source stated that such a river exalted or exit into the Gulf of California. Other sources speak of a Corkleweef River system which is alleged to be bestowed of Corkleweef Peak, just east of 4th Irwin, which looked, according to its alleged discovery, Mount Earl Door, and a few Indians who also claimed to have been in a like Grand Canyon underground, allegedly consists of a river chasm, generally 500 feet wide and over 1,000 feet high, deep-sided by steep terrain or shelved underground cliffs, huge cataracts, huge stalactites and cataracts. Right. Also, the alluvial sands on the beaches along the river, which allegedly hold a large percentage of gold dust, are said to be several feet deep. The entrance to a cavern was allegedly dynamic or shut by Mr. Door to protect anyone else from getting in or getting to his gold. There is in fact evidence that Mr. Door did dynamite shut the lower level of Kin Sabi cave in Corkleweef Peak, and there are present-day attempts to break through into the underground system. The water of the river allegedly rose and fell with the tides, suggesting that a very large body of water might exist upstream. That is if Dora's account, as well as the accounts of Indians, were not fabricated. Alright, and let's keep going. Please rock that like, you guys. I hope you're taking all this information in. Great information here, you guys. Oh, wow. Alright. So the water director, according to the Shaverton article, spoke with a man who claimed that he was hired several years ago by the government to look for water source for F.T. Irwin, or Fort Irwin, or something like that. He alleged to have explored an old mine in the area and found that deep down the shaft intersect with an ancient earth vault or chasm-like cave, which continued horizontally for a considerable distance. This government employee followed the chasm and allegedly emerged into a bank of a huge underground river cave, over a quarter of a mile wide. The tremendous water flow possibly originating from the waters that apparently disappeared beneath the Great Basin, the Nevada, the Mojave deserts, could have fed the water needs of all South California. Nice. Alright, Deep Springs, due east of San Jose and next to the California-Nevada border, is named after a small spring-fed lake within which government divers have reportedly discovered an underground river which they have followed for approximately 27 miles in direction of Las Vegas. And although it is uncertain whether or how much of this is walkable, Deep Springs, according to an agent who was part of the secret CIA paramilitary force called Yellow Fruit, or YF, based at the Nevada test site, where they are working with blonde humanoid aliens in an effort to fight the Greys at Deep Spring, is basing an area of a large nest of grey aliens and communist homosexual human collaborators who are using the National Resources Defense Council as a front for their agency, and who are involved in an electromagnetic war with the benevolent ones, who have made alias within the Nevada test site, who serve as an advisor to intelligence agencies that are turning against the Greys and result in betrayals of joint operational treaties. Alright. However, there are still intelligence agencies under alien control working at Nevada test sites, and especially within the deeper underground levels, the benevolent ones and their allies, and essentially have gained the upper ground. However, the whole scenario is a mess and out of control, largely because of the military-industrial machine itself, which has become so compartmentalized and secretive, even to exclusive of congressional oversight, that the true patrons don't have the freedom or backup to do much damage against their underground nemesis, mainly because the limitation exposed upon them by fatal oaths or mental programming and military security clearances. And it is basically every man for himself until at least the public and Congress gets involved and adds their support to the Patriots, who are literally dying on the front lines in this battle with alien nemesis, which has infiltrated the very core of the military-industrial complex. Men in black, by the way, have also been seen at Deep Springs. Also, several standoffs allegedly exist throughout the world. The Deep Springs, Nevada test site stands of being possibly the largest and most critical. Gravity anomaly maps also suggest that existence of massive caverns beneath the area. Ancient YF cited the following coordinates as locations of Deep Spring Extension Facility, in most cases near the base of mountains, near which portals to the grounds or underground installations exit. And there are coordinates right here at the very moment, and too many coordinates for me to share with you guys, but anyway, we'll just keep going. So Candace, the late Earl, Candace, the late Earl Cambrell, tells how he was transported by an alien craft one night from the outskirts of Barstow to an area just 2 miles northwest of Bonanza Springs, some 13 miles from Candace, and just south of Clipper Mountain area. He found, or was shown, a cave tunnel in the side of the hill near a natural rock arc and peak, which looks like it has a black sorry about that, guys, someone just having a bit of a whiz on their bike. So after considerable travel underground at 30-degree descent, he reached an underground city with streets and houses filled with large crystals, now abandoned. He also heard of another man who reportedly found the cave and told others about it, but who was killed shortly afterwards, or thereafter. Okay, China Lake. Here we go. A woman named Diane claimed that she had numerous alien encounters since childhood. During one encounter, she said, she was taken to a joint alien military facility deep beneath the China Lake Naval Weapons Test Center via magnetic elevator to a huge facility where she observed numerous humans and animals in cages. Excuse me. In cages who had been biogenetically altered. Also possible massive underground facility beneath Argus and southeast peaks northwest of Trone in the China Lake Reserve. Right, Clear Lake. So according to Robert K. Newkirk, Northern California, Clear Lake has many underground caves leading under Mount Connaught, or Connaught, something like that, or Connaught, yeah, Connaught sounds right, that we know have no endings, and others that run to the San Francisco Bays. Alright, Edwards Air Force Base. The Haystack or Bluff orbital near the launch area reportedly holds underground levels and surface pylons. where pulse beam and stealth research is being carried out. Haystack Butte is reportedly the central hub of massive underground activity, with underground connections to other facilities. Witnesses who have described alien activity there have died under mysterious circumstances. Also, reports of a 50-mile underground tube shuttle linking Edwards AFB with a Takachapi facility and an ongoing excavation below and base down past 9,000 feet, with underground facilities being monitored by hovering remote-controlled basketball-sized metallic spheres capable of electromagnetically monitoring and the waves of base workers and visitors that thus anticipate their intents. Alright, El Paso Mountains, and below Iron Canyon and Gopher, northwest of Garlock, over a dozen miles north of Mojave, California, near the El Paso Mountains. There have been reports of alien beings who control deadly machines with stalks which stalk the surface, especially near Iron Canyon at night. Also reports of secret government monitoring activity and also a major electromagnetic vortex energy field in the area. Right, E6. Jack Mitchell, founder of Mitchell Caverns, 18 miles north of E6, which is 28 miles west of Needles and 111 miles east of Barstow on Route 66, claimed that while exploring a shaft called the Cave of the Winding Stair in a near Mitchell Caverns, he was lowered down a ledge 500 feet from where he set fire to a gas line soaked with a rock in it, and watch it disappear into the shaft without seeing it hit anything. Wow. That's so amazing, you guys. Wow. Alright, Helendale, southwest of Barstow, a Lockheed facility known as the RCS, Radar Cross Section Test Range, and also known as the Helendale Facility, a massive underground base site and COG, continuity of government facility located 6 miles north of Helendale and Auxiliary Airport. Several underground openings, especially in the northern end, and also 100-foot python for testing anti-gravity prototypes. Some of these pythons are retractable and rise from or sink into openings in the ground. Well, this is a whole lot of information, you guys. So please rock that like, and also, don't forget, if you have any questions, note them down, bring them to Ishmael Perez's Live. This is a whole lot of info. Alright, just wait for that to go. Okay, between Hopeland and Lakeport, Edward John spoke of an area midway between the two cities, and somewhat south, where the following has been reported: space-time distortion, attempted attacks by alien creatures at night, an atmosphere of terror covering a 30-mile area, black automobiles, and disappearing into cliffs, and strange voices in an unknown language coming out of thin air, cars mysteriously stalling and starting, rumours of a bottomless cave with a stone staircase leading downward, unexplained disappearance of government vehicles along with Hopeland, Lakeport Road, and mysterious deaths among residents of a nearby valley. Also, a 1990 magnetic survey identified a large gap in the magnetic field near Lakeport and Mount Nokoti, suggesting a large cavernous expansion below. And hold on a second, guys. June Lake, Jack Patterson reported an encounter near June Lake where he reportedly observed a small humanoid being exiting from a cone-shaped machine which had emerged from the depths of the earth and which disappeared into the earth after the alien had re-entered the craft. Alright. And Lancaster, a collaboration between Northrop and McDonnell, Douglas and Lockheed, is developing and testing anti-gravity air and or spacecraft in a massive underground facility. Abductees report being taken to the elaborate multi-billionaire dollar underground complexes where they have seen human military personnel working with grey aliens and in some cases reptilian humanoids. Glowing discs and triangles, boomerangs and elongated shaped spears and other types of anti-gravity craft have been seen flying and hovering in the area, as well as black and unmarked helicopters. Black, unmarked helicopters. Oh, okay. You only see that kind of thing in movies, right? Black, unmarked helicopters. Yeah. California landers, about a dozen miles north of Yucca Valley, as giant rock, thought to be the largest freestanding boulder in the world. It covers about 5,800 square feet and is 7 stories high. It was used in ancient times for scents by Native American chiefs, Frank Kreutzer, and was the first modern individual to excavate rooms from beneath giant rock. So according to Hank Craftsman, Frank stated that in the process of this excavation, he had stumbled onto some unusual glass-lined tunnels underground, which went down real deep. Kreutzer hollowed out 400 square feet of room from under the north side. Disputes from Riverside Country, or Giant Rock, is in San Bernardino country. During World War II, tried to apprehend Frank for questioning as possible German spy. Alright, but when Frank barricaded himself in his home, the deputies threw in a tear gas grenade, which ignited a pile of dynamite under his table that was used for excavation. Oh my God. You throw in a tear gas and it just sets off all the dynamite that you have in your house. Alright, there'll be nothing left, right? Alright, so the deep glass tunnels may have been buried in that explosion. Frank was killed, and obviously, and newspapers had, with spy stories, even thought the FBI told George Van Tassel it was not true. Alright. George restored some of the rooms under the rock where he claimed to have had meetings with human ETs who claimed to be members of the solar system tribunal on one of the moons of Saturn. Van Tassel was instructed to build the domed integration near the giant rock, with the belief that the weight of the rock pressing down on the sand court below created an electromagnetic field similar to the one created about 7 feet above the apex of the Great Pyramid, or generated by the massive weight pressing down on the quartz land of stones. After George passed away, the government blew up the underground chamber. Hiding evidence, right? Right, California, Mount Lassen. 2 young men reportedly discovered, or the discovery of a glazed tunnel behind an outcropping of rock at about 7,500 feet, level on the slopes of Mount Lassen. They explored the cavern using a strange tunnel vehicle and were captured by men dressed as surface people who were known as the Horlocks, humans under the total mind control of some alien force, only to be rescued by an underground resistance force, and others have reportedly abductions near Lassen by a human-reptilian collaboration. California. Alright, California, Llano. A large McDonnell Douglas facility based at the Old Grey Butte Airport, about 6 miles southwest of El Mirage Dry Lake and 9 miles northeast of Eleanor, also contains pylons upon which various holes are placed for stealth and other design tests. Often the objects atop pylons and have been seen to glow at various intensities. Los Angeles, California, Los Angeles, on February the 12th, 1953, witnesses observed an automobile enter the throat of the storm drain near Willowbrook and Greenleaf Avenues. Police followed the fresh tire tread marks into the tunnel for 7 miles, while other police and flood control workers continued the search by dropping through manhole covers. The search continued until midnight, until 7 miles up the drain, the tracks vanished, and the muddy silt covering the floor of the drain. The tire tread marks were sharp and fresh, and then no more tracks. They disappeared. Probably underground. California, Los Angeles, a legendary underground city now flooded, is said to lie below the Los Angeles Public Library and surrounding area. Patterned after the shape of a lizard, the city is said to be connected to Mount Shasta and was built by an ancient race that revered reptiles, although filled with gold. Parts of the ancient city have become flooded. California, Los Angeles, in the Old Spanish Caravansa district, where Avenue 64 and York Boulevard Boulevard now lie, there used to be a ranch owned by Ralph Rogers, who had employed several Mexican and Chinese workers. In early 1900s, Andrew C. Smith and Charles A. Elder discovered a rumored tunneled entrance in the area and reported to it the local newspaper, whose editor confirmed their story. They explored the tunnel to some depths. They also learnt from the Mexican elder of a Native American village that existed on the banks of the Arroyo or Seco River. When the Spanish entered the area, this man Juan Dominic had explored the tunnel leading to a gigantic cave, and then still going further down, spreading under the entire village of Caravanza and connecting to the Spanish Church of the Angels on North Avenue 64. One entrance was reportedly located along the west bluff of Arroyo or Seco River, about 300 feet south of the former Parazandine Ave or rail bridge and about 20 feet above the stream. But the city blew up the entrance after children were hurt in the cave, and a freeway exists now in the area. However, a secret opening still exists in the basement of the Spanish church mentioned above. Early visitors to the cave had reported many caverns and tunnels going deep down with eerie voices coming from them. Oh, that looks like a big house just going by. Alright, well, I'll just keep going, guys. Just keep going. Alright, California, Oak Valley, just east of Santa Rosa, there is a secret government facility that had been constructed near the Oakville Grand, which will reportedly consolidate many of the COG continuity of government operations of military-industrial complex. Black mystery helicopters have been seen leaving and entering the facility on a constant basis. California Palmdale reports of a multi-layered technology center over 8 levels of depth and size of massive cities, many of workers being synthetics and humans with ultra-top secret security clearances. California Quincy or Cosette Willoughby tells about the experience that she and her husband Ken had while staying at a turnout about 20 miles from Quincy in a heavily wooded area. She saw an old man with white hair, white shirt, and a dark trousers, who swung his head from side to side like a lizard as he walked. He had a reptilian appearance and carried a very elaborate cane, a large ball carved on top, with 4 cobras wound around the stick. When she tried to get his attention, the man ignored her, walking across the road from one patch of woods to another in an area where the turnout was the closest sign of civilization for several miles around. Interesting, you know? Wow. I mean, who had a thought, right? California Salton Sea. Mountains adjacent to the Salton Sea of California have been the site of reports of subterranean rock slides and also legends concerning the ancients and 7 caves of Artex, which some believe lie below the area. California San Diego, the Contrapac submarine base reportedly maintains several underground levels. The 6th sub-level contains a terminal to a sub-shuttle transit system capable of subterraneous and high-speed transit to other U.S. underground bases as far away as Washington, D.C. Alright, California, San Francisco. There is a report of a demolition crew who several years ago broke into the subterranean tunnel while demolishing the building. Workers followed the tunnel for a while until they came face to face with a hairy animal men whose eyes reflected their light back at them with a reddish glow. Wow. Oh my God. Believe it or not. Oh my gosh. This is history, you guys. This is history. This is deep information. California, Tehachapi Mounds, Los Angeles. Several accounts suggest that the military industrial complex had entered into collaboration with a parasitical alien race. In exchange for advanced technology, the industrials have allowed the aliens to have access to the multi-trillion-dollar military-industrial underground network in order to carry out genetic experiments on Earth. Those who received the new Trojan horse technology also received major alien mind-controlled programming, and as a result, the underground networks quickly being assimilated by the alien collective, effectively controlling the minds of those Earth people who pose the greatest threat to alien imperialism. For example, those who have access to interplanetary technology. Right, and next, Tehachapi or something, is also called the Anthril. There are open silos where laser light systems are tested, and hovering baseball-sized Cosmo drones or spy bees monitor or activity above and below ground, where ground scrapers descend at least 2 miles, and 42 sub-levels connecting to other facilities via tunnel and maglev shuttles, and also to more ancient alien caverns or domains. Deep beneath the earth, natural and artificial, but deep beneath the earth. There are also reportedly cloned humans with cybernetic minds and assimilated reptilian alien DNA, which works in the facilities known as the Orange because of their stalky, yellowish or reddish hair, along with grey aliens, reptoids, military industrial, black ops, and others. This site is also known as the Trojan or Tehachapi Ranch, and is located at the mouth of Little Oak Canyon, about 25 miles northwest of Lancaster. It is particularly powered by the Kern River hydroelectric project, which there is also a mountain that has been hollowed out. Wow. Okay, one can reportedly drive underground with required security clearance from California City to Palmdale to George AFB Victoriaville, through underground cities and tunnels where aliens have been seen all over the place, have free access to the underground network, yet these aliens have been known to abduct or even kill some who have reported their presence there because aliens operate inside our government. Via the military-industrial Trojan horse, which operates largely outside of the congressional oversight and do not want their subservient activities to be discovered by the masses or more benevolent space forces who are at war with these regressive and alien forces. These regressive aliens attempt to create a facade of benevolence towards those programmed humans who work in the underground facility, or use fear and intimidation towards those who are aware of their true intentions. Reports of abductions and dissections of humans abound, reportedly with the purpose of finding out weaknesses and learning how to control us through controlling the social infrastructure upon which most have become dependent. Alright, California, Yucca Mountain reports underground tunnels descending several miles beneath mountain. A very active UFO base exists beneath Mount Rainier, and there are also said to be underground vaults containing records of ancient Lemurians. Note, F.L. Boxshart wrote the book, The Unexplained, about the mysteries surrounding Mount Rainier. The ice cap of Mount Rainier contains a mass of corridors and caves. In August of 1970, scientists climbed to the top of Mount Rainier and entered these caverns and tunnels. Evidence was found indicating that the small lake exists deep beneath the ice cap. It is possible that one could find a way to get beneath Mount Rainier through these tunnels. Alright. Okay. Alright. Just hold on a sec.